2021 saw several key milestones in the United Nations efforts to prevent and counter terrorism, including the 15th anniversary of the adoption of the UN Global Counter-Terrorism Strategy and the 10th anniversary of the UN Counter-Terrorism Center. We also commemorated the 20th anniversary of the 9/11 terrorist attacks and the resolute actions taken by the Security Council in response that continue to galvanize international counter-terrorism efforts. We paid tribute to the victims and survivors of terrorism around the world on multiple occasions, including through a special ceremony with the 9/11 Memorial in New York, which hosted over 300 dignitaries from more than 120 member states and international organizations. In August, we marked the International Day of Remembrance of and Tribute to the Victims of Terrorism.
Remembrance means honoring those who have lost their lives. But it also means looking forward and understanding our responsibility to prevent more deaths. This is why the United Nations is committed to preventing terrorism, including by addressing conditions conducive to the spread of terrorism and supporting efforts to hold terrorists accountable for the suffering they have caused.
Throughout 2021, promoting multilateralism against terrorism remained at the center of UNOCT's efforts. The Secretary-General's report on Our Common Agenda called for continued cooperation to prevent and counter terrorism. UNOCT's new strategic plan and program framework for 2022 to 2025 will outline our mission, vision, and goals to help build a world free from terrorism. UNOCT's agenda continued to enjoy wide support from member states and partners, thanks to the political and policy leadership of Under-Secretary-General Vladimir Voronkov. In June, UNOCT convened the second Counter-Terrorism Week, including the second high-level conference of heads of counter-terrorism agencies of member states, with over 2,000 participants reflecting on the challenges of the new decade for preventing and countering terrorism in the age of transformative technologies. A record number of 36 online side events recorded over 25,000 total viewers. The week concluded with the General Assembly adopting a strong consensus resolution on the 7th biennial review of the Global Counter-Terrorism Strategy, which will guide global counter-terrorism efforts for the next 2 years. Led by UNOCT, the Coordination Committee spearheaded the work of the UN Global Counter-Terrorism Coordination Compact, while its 8 working groups held 44 meetings. As a result of the coordination efforts of this Global Coordination Compact, the UN Multi-Year Appeal for Counter-Terrorism was launched as an interactive digital tool to coordinate UN resource mobilization efforts. The 2021 to 2022 appeal calls for $179 million for 52 projects and programs from entities of the Counter-Terrorism Coordination Compact. For the second year running, the Counter-Terrorism Coordination Platform continued to provide a virtual forum connecting 43 entities and 131 member states. The platform has had over 100,000 visits since it was launched in 2020. Through the COVID-19 pandemic, UNOCT ensured business continuity while prioritizing staff well-being. Leveraging innovative new technologies, we delivered further and better on our mandate with an expanded toolbox for greater efficiency and impact. UNOCT's field presence in Ashgabat, Baghdad, Bangkok, Bishkek, Brussels, Dhaka, Khartoum, Manila, Ouagadougou, Budapest, Doha, and Rabat ensured the delivery of impactful and cost-effective technical assistance in close proximity to beneficiaries through an all-of-UN approach, including increased collaboration, coordination, and synergies with the Resident Coordinator System and other UN country team entities. In addition, UNOCT built up new and existing partnerships, signing 40 Memoranda of Understanding and other agreements. The Office organized 161 high-level bilateral meetings, 676 capacity-building workshops, and over 150 outreach events promoting counter-terrorism efforts while mainstreaming human rights and gender and mobilizing over 20,000 people. At the same time, tailored communication efforts grew by 40% on the web and 50% on social media. In 2021, UNOCT's flagship Countering Terrorist Travel Program to enhance terrorist detection capabilities using API and PNR data expanded to 49 beneficiary countries. Turning 10 years old, the UN Counter-Terrorism Center has developed as a world center of excellence, running 73 programs and engaging 165 countries to support the implementation of all 4 pillars of the UN Global Counter-Terrorism Strategy in areas such as strategic communications to prevent violent extremism, border security, youth engagement, countering terrorist financing, combating weapons of mass destruction, and chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear terrorism and cybersecurity. 2021 also saw the launch of several new UNOCT programs, responding to the priorities of member states. In Rabat, we launched the UNOCT Program Office for Counter-Terrorism and Training in Africa. In Doha, we initiated the International Hub on Behavioral Insights to Counter-Terrorism and opened the UNOCT Office on Parliamentary Engagement in Preventing and Countering Terrorism, which organized the first Global Parliamentary Summit on Counter-Terrorism with the Inter-Parliamentary Union and UNODC in Vienna, and launched the first coordination mechanism on CT and PVE among parliamentary assemblies. In January, we launched the Global Program on Countering Terrorist Threats Against Vulnerable Targets. In September, we launched the Threat Assessment Models Program, and on the margins of the 76th UN General Assembly, UNOCT, UNICEF, and 13 other UN partners launched the Global Framework on UN Support on Syria and Iraq third country national returnees, as over 42,000 foreign women and children remain stranded in overcrowded camps in Syria. In October, we launched the Connect and Learn online platform, offering e-learning courses and supporting communities of practice on CT and PCVE with 465 users in just 3 months. In December, we held events on video gaming and augmented and virtual reality, and we launched the 4th phase of our program with UNRCCA to support the Joint Plan of Action for the implementation of the Global Counter-Terrorism Strategy in Central Asia. 2021 also saw UNOCT strengthening its engagement with civil society organizations, including through CT Week side events, regular roundtables, and a virtual dialogue with human rights and civil society partners on building a better paradigm to prevent and counter terrorism, with over 320 participants from 67 civil society entities. With less than 3% of our funding needs covered by the United Nations regular budget, UNOCT relies on sustainable, flexible, and predictable funding to deliver on its mandate. None of these achievements would have been possible without the support and trust of our 35 donors, for which we are thankful. We count on your continued support in 2022 as we remain committed to work together for a future without terrorism.